According to some gameplay experts, the Tier 6 premium British light cruiser Tiger 59 is, quote, the best ship in the game. Now, I am not a gameplay expert myself. I am merely a talking potato. So, I, of course, didn't share this opinion. I always thought the Tiger 59 was good at surgically eliminating enemy destroyers, but that was about it. And sometimes eliminating the enemy destroyers is really all you need to secure a victory in World of Warships Legends. But when it came to fighting larger ships like battleships and cruisers, the Tiger 59, to a large degree, in my opinion, felt quite helpless. Well, Wargaming buffed the Tiger 59 for this current update, and now what we have here is a ship that got back its confidence. Behold this opening sequence. We're coming around an island versus a York, a Colorado, and some other cruiser, an Aoba maybe? We need to finish off the York first, which we will with the Tiger 59's newly super accurate little guns here. York goes down. It's Munchen as the other cruiser. We're going to shoot over the Colorado and find the Munchen Citadel at least once, maybe twice. Need to avoid any torpedoes he might launch. There's some more citadels through the hull of the German cruiser. He thought he had us, but no, he goes back to port, and we end with a ram on his friend, the Colorado. Unfortunately, we give that guy a diehard and don't actually sink him. But could the Tiger 59 have done that prior to the buff? I don't know. In any case, that battle ends with our glorious victory. Although we only do 69,000 damage and we're second on the leaderboard behind a Wichita, a ship that everybody knows is inferior to the Tiger 59. So let's take a look at the main feature of this video, an entire game in which we don't really have any combat with an enemy destroyer. We already know the Tiger 59 is very good at dealing with those. After all, it's a cruiser at Tier 6 that has the radar consumable. And this radar, while it only has a ship acquisition range of 8.5 kilometers, it can last for 24 seconds with the Transformer Autobot Hot Rod build. Here's the commander build that I've been using. Of course, if you don't have this guy, you can't extend the duration of the radar, but you can make a fairly similar build with Tenant. Hot Rod's skill tree is very much like his, more defensive than it is focused on DPM. Two inspirations I've got are Swirsky and Makawa for the best concealment possible. We enjoy a concealment of 9 kilometers, and of course our radar being 8.5. There's a half a kilometer window there where if we're spotted and we deploy the radar, we're not going to see what's spotting us. But the two values are close enough together that usually when you deploy the radar, it will reveal a destroyer. They do tend to get close. And of course, when you reveal a destroyer, you've got 4 152 millimeter guns that only shoot AP. The AP shells do a maximum of 3,200 damage. Essentially, these are Minotaur guns, only 4 of them though, on a Tier 6 cruiser hull. And as you might expect, the hull is not very well armored. It's got 25mm plating everywhere, and the citadel is quite exposed. So it can be taken out relatively easily, although you do have a smoke screen, which we're going to use now. And you have a bit of a super heal, a repair party that restores 661 HP per second for a duration of 20 seconds. All very useful to keep yourself floating for the duration of the battle. Now, previously, these guns were very good at shredding enemy destroyers, but now these guns have been buffed. The buff that the Ministry of Balance gave to the Tiger 59 in this update was a 49.5% dispersion buff. The idea was to make the accuracy on these guns match the German alternative destroyers like the Z-31, the Elbing, the Schultz, etc. And, well, you can see the 5 citadels there against the Aoba to open up with. I didn't know that the Tiger 59's accuracy was so poor until prior to the buff, somebody asked me to play it live on stream, and I said, wow, the accuracy on this ship is pretty inexcusable for having only 4 guns. They might be legendary tier Minotaur guns, but 4 of them? I don't know about that. Now, though, with this Elbing-like accuracy, you can dial these shells into exactly where you want them to land, which is good, of course. HE doesn't necessarily matter where it lands on your target. It has a set penetration value, and if it hits armor that it can penetrate, it will, regardless of distance, regardless of angle. AP, distance, and angle both matter. And so, it's a lot more crucial that your shells go where you want them to when you're firing AP so that you can actually do damage. Prior to the buff, Tiger 59 really couldn't guarantee you that, but now post-buff, it certainly can. We open up this battle with 39,000 damage done against 2 enemy cruisers, and of course, the enemy destroyer is inside of the cap. I believe not a Yugamo, this is tier 6, some IJN torpedo boat destroyer, and unfortunately, we're not going to get too much work done on him. We've got the Dutch cruiser pushing right into that destroyer's face. I'm not sure how to pronounce the name of that Dutch cruiser, and I don't even want to try, because I'm sure I will butcher it. Ah, yes, A.L. Yukikazi. He gets spotted once more by the Dutch cruiser. We take a shot at him, and then one at the Aoba to see if we can sink him. Of course, we hit the A.L. Yukikazi with one single solitary shell, and it does 1,056 damage. Imagine, of course, we land more shells, which we don't. Like I said earlier, I'm not an expert. I'm a floating potato. We can't seem to dial in the aim on the Yukikazi's hull. If we could, we would absolutely be shredding him and sending him back to port, but that is irrelevant. That doesn't matter to the buff of the Tiger 59. We already knew it was good at dispatching destroyers. It was just never good at dealing damage to anything larger than a destroyer, which made it feel to some degree helpless. And now that the A.L. Yukikazi is out of sight and out of range, all we have left to focus on are the battleships. And you can see we're in a bit of a sticky situation here. We've got Fuso directly in front of us, who luckily is not paying any attention. He's going to allow us to secure this cap, which is a bit of a small miracle. But in addition to that Fuso, we've got another battleship, a Queen Elizabeth and a Tennessee on the starboard side of the ship. Right now, the island to that side is half blocking them from actually getting any shots on us. But as you can see, the ingenious indicator above the spotted eyeball shows 3 enemy ships aiming their main battery guns at us. Not good. We're going to silence our own guns and deploy our second of 3 smoke screens here momentarily. But like I said, bit of a potato here. I don't think we're actually going to hit the right button. Nope, we accidentally hit the heel, something I do a lot. I wish these consumable buttons were standardized. We hit the heel and uselessly burn one of the super heals instead of deploying the smoke screen. Finally, we get it right, and that is going to conceal us from the Queen Elizabeth and the Fuso. We'll turn our attention back to him. Of course, he's pointing his bow our way, and that is, not ideal if we want to get AP penetrations on his hull, but if we dial in the aim to his superstructure, well, we don't get to see that because our teammates take him out. All right, Tennessee, broadside to us. Of course, we can penetrate his armor probably practically everywhere. He's got 26 millimeter plating, I believe, or 25, all along the hull, except for the turret armor and the citadel belt, of course. So if he sits broadside to us, you can see the damage is quite good. We get almost 3,000 on some of these salvos, at least 2K, and that seems pretty decent to me. As for the reload time on the Tiger 59, it's 3.2 seconds. So I'd say we have fairly good DPM, the 4 guns notwithstanding. I'm sure probably every cruiser at this tier has higher AP DPM, but that's theoretical, of course. Actual DPM, that's only when you hit targets. And as you can see, not many of these shells are missing the Queen Elizabeth, and every single one seems to be doing 1,056 damage. So we get salvos of 2K, even more. There's our old friend AL Yukikaze. He goes down. Again, this is not about shredding destroyers. Anybody knows Tiger 59 can do that. This is about shredding battleships. And at least against Tier 5 battleships, well, the damage starts to rack up. All these 2K salvos, 2, 4, 6, 8. Before you know it, you've got 10,000 damage done to one of these battleships. We're at 91,000. Caught between Queen Elizabeth and Tennessee, not a good scenario in which to find ourselves. We're not an armored cruiser. If even one of these guys decides to shoot AP at us, well, then they are probably going to hit. But luckily, the Tiger 59 doesn't have the usual British cruiser citadel design with the step citadel that is scientifically engineered to catch shells. There's the high caliber medal. I don't know that I've ever gotten that in the Tiger 59 before. We take a bit of a nasty hit from the Queen Elizabeth. Not sure if he hits our citadel or not, but as you can see, the heal is effective. It's a super heal relative to cruiser terms, so we're able to gain a lot of HP back. And this battle is winding down. It's just the Queen Elizabeth and the Tennessee left alive over here on this side of the map. Bit of a blowout for the red team. The blue team has dispatched everybody else on the other side of the map, and so we are going to emerge from this battle victorious. The only question is, can we do more damage with the Tiger 59's newly buffed guns? Looks like Tennessee is going back to port. Only Queen Elizabeth is left. He is once again bow tanking us, as the Fuso did earlier. And with this newfound precision on these main battery guns, we can adjust our aim, we can dial it right into the superstructure that we can actually pen, and we can still get salvos on this guy of over 1,000 damage with these little shells here. So, the Tiger 59 is much improved. With this Elbing-like accuracy, I really think it's almost like a brand new ship, even though it's existed in the game for quite some time. And I'm telling you, previous to this buff, these guns could not hit anything this precisely. It's not like they were the worst accuracy in the world, but this is a night and day improvement. And I think it does make the Tiger 59 a much better ship than it was pre-buff. Here we are on the top of the leaderboard with the Tiger 59 and 116,000 damage done against mostly battleships and cruisers with the high caliber metal to boot. And keep in mind, the high caliber is a sign of doing effective damage. You have to eliminate a certain percentage of the ship's HP pool. I think 20% HP of like 4 ships. So when you get that metal, you know you're doing efficient damage. And prior to this buff, I don't think the Tiger 59 could. Now it can. It's still not the best ship in the game. That's a ridiculous assertion, but it's better than it used to be. And it might be worth playing now. Hope you enjoyed the video. If so, give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.